Kirsty Kelly, and I'm doing an oral presentation today based on breastfeeding. I work at a VTech Level 5 course in childcare at Sale. I'd like to thank you all very much for coming to my oral presentation today. It's based on breastfeeding. I'd like to show you all my ID, just to identify myself of who I am. I'd like to just start off by saying breastfeeding. One of the most things about breastfeeding is usually the beginning. When a baby only first When a mother first has a baby, the GPs always ask for them to breastfeed because it's better for the baby. It's full of nutrients. It fights off loads of infections and stuff. They always say as well that when you first have the baby, to breastfeed, like stick the baby straight to the breast after having the baby, after the baby's birth. The most important thing about breastfeeding really is when you first have the baby, and the baby is, like the doctors always say, put the baby straight to the breast. It's a key factor really. But the only thing is, some mothers that don't want to breastfeed after having the baby, they'll be so sore. That's the reason why they don't breastfeed. They just give it straight, like they only just use straight to the bottle. But what's good about breastfeeding, like breastfeeding really is absolutely brilliant. You don't use really that much nappies. It fights off all sorts of infections and diseases. The mother, like vegan mothers really, vegan mothers that breastfeed, that don't eat meat or don't drink milk, they'd have to use food supplements, and the supplements are B12 supplements. If a mother is breastfeeding, it has to be on a very well balanced diet, and if the mother is not on a very well balanced diet, then that's when complications can happen with the baby and also with the mother. What's good as well about breastfeeding, the mother can also get her figure back, and it's a great bonding time with the mother and the baby. But if you're bottle feeding, when you're bottle feeding even, you have to always make eye contact with the baby, whether you're bottle feeding or breastfeeding, but mostly as well bottle feeding. It's just a real bonding time with the mother and the baby. Now, you cannot have a baby prepped up with a bottle in its mouth. It's so dangerous. So the mothers have to advise the young siblings when doing so.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
Thanks. I just wonder in relation, it's a very interesting topic that you're bringing up in relation to vegan and women breastfeeding who would be vegan.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really aware of that they would have to be put on to supplementary tablets or vitamins, supplementary vitamins. And I'm just wondering in relation to that, the complications that you were talking about, could you tell me a little bit more about that? The complications that a mother or the child might happen.
Well, it could often lead to colic, diarrhea, diabetes, because not all the goodness and the nutrients are going through the mother properly, because she's not having on meat, like a protein basically,
okay,
and a calcium.
Yeah.
So that's what makes the baby's immune system stronger.
Okay.
with breastfeeding, it really fights off a lot of infections, and it saves the baby from being sick all the time. Because a lot of babies' immune, it really is strong, like it strengthens up the immune system. It really does. Whereas a bottle-fed baby, it would fight off some infections, but not as much infections, because there's not so much good nutrients in a bit like in the formula than there is in the breast, in the human breast.
I think that's very important that you're saying that,
Yeah.
because it does build up the immune system and strengthen it, and that's a real valid point as
Yeah.
well, to know that when you're breastfeeding, you're strengthening the immune system.
And it also occurs as well that when you're breastfeeding a baby, they have a chance of having a higher IQ than a bottle-fed baby. It was kind of scientifically proven, really. So that's actually good as well in a way, but it's also, I don't know, for mothers that's also bottle feeding, are probably kind of, a bit, I don't know. It's just, they're just probably, I'd like to say thank you anyway, really, everyone, for coming to my oral presentation today. It really means a lot. Thanks. The different types of play. Discovery play allows children to find out things, for example, shapes, sorters and textures. The physical play is when the children are moving and making body movements. Example, climbing, throwing and pegboards. Emotional development. The emotional development includes development of controlling its expressions and feelings and emotions. Language development. Language development is the development of communication skills. Language skills include verbal and non-verbal skills, reading and writing. Cognitive play. Cognitive play is when a child is expressing their ideas. Or creative play is when a child is expressing their ideas. For example, a child painting a picture. Imaginative play is when a child is pretending to. Imaginative play is pretending to play. For example, a child playing with dolls and doing a rock. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Imaginative play is pretend play. Example, a child playing with dolls and role playing. Discovery. Discovery is when a child is discovering something. Sharing. You basically really have to learn babies how to share, kids how to share, and expressing ideas. When a child is creating. Oh God, I'm not saying that wrong. I'm sorry. A messy play. Messy play is. Messy play is a wide variety of sensory materials that children can use, feel and play with multiple with their hands and feet, an entire body. For example, jelly play, pasta play and play-doh. Why messy play is used? Messy play is used for all the areas of development and helps promote these areas. Just like this. I said all this. I'd like to thank you all very much for coming to me. I'm so sorry. I'd like to thank you all for coming to my presentation today. It really means a lot. Thanks very much.